there, Kettle Corn Cousins, how you doing? This is the Mitch, from Cycles Lemoore. Mitch Lemoore is my name. CyclesLemoore.com and KettleCornSupplies.com. Pretty easy to remember. I realized I didn't have a very good video. I don't think I even had any video for the Deluxe Pro. So I wanted to shoot this out before I sent this out to our Kettle Corn cousin Daryl out in North Carolina. So this is an improved version of last year's model. I'm going to show you what the differences were. I increased the width and the depth just a little bit, so this is 30 inches by 30 inches. And the height is 1 inch higher, it's at 37 inches. There we go. I also put a little beefier caster on the front and went to a regular swivel caster on there from what I did last year. So this is much easier to move around. As you watch this video, you'll notice how much easier this is to move around. Now I don't have the locks on the casters. I didn't lock the casters, but they are all four locking casters. The main difference on this, I wanted to show you over other machines. One, this is the first in the original top dumping 80 quart popper. Now, I have 3 80 quart poppers. This is the big brother of the 3. This one will produce about $500 to $1,000 a day pretty comfortably. If you start doing more than that, you want to jump up to the 28.5 inch bowls, which is the 110 quart and the 160 quart. And I just put in a bid for a 42 inch huge one. Anyway, I digress. So, I'll show you a couple of features that I've done. Last year, this was diamond plate. Now, when I take these out to shows, I like to keep my machines clean, as so everybody does. But people buy these things from me, so I really have more of an obligation to make sure they stay clean and new looking. And I found that it was very difficult to consistently keep that diamond plate clean. Here's what happens on all machines that are top dumping, say that 3 times, is that the oil will come down here and it'll drip. And it ends up in the front here and it looks a little dirty. So you want to keep that area clean. The other thing too is that being that this is diamond plate, or I'm sorry, being that there's a table here to dump into, you don't really even see the diamond plate. So when I weighed those two options together, I decided just to make this nice smooth sheet metal so that it's easier to clean and it looks nicer all the time. And one thing I've learned in 40 years of retail, it's all about presentation. How your machine looks, how your booth looks, how the people look feeding you, or that they're doing the cooking, everything. All those little things add up. So if you've got a nice looking machine, it's clean, people have a perception that your popcorn's going to taste better, your kettle corn will taste better in their minds. And they're going to want to deal with you more. So, other couple of features here. You notice that my machines are the only ones that have a nice round look to it. Not a big deal. I mean, it's not going to really make the popcorn taste better or cook faster or make you more money in the sense that, well, maybe it will make you more money because your machines have an artsier, nicer look to them. They don't just look like it came out of some backwoods factory. Now, one thing that I stumbled onto as kind of a nice little sales feature is you'll notice there are no legs here. They're in the back. And it's when you're popping during the day, you're moving around this machine. And I noticed I wasn't kicking the legs like I was with my square machines that I built. Which I thought, well, that's kind of nice. A nice little sales feature. Now, I bend all my handles and make them myself. Nice little tube bender there. But the next thing about these handles is, last year's model, this was welded to the top deck. It is no longer welded. I bolted on. Let me show you again. You'll notice the bolts, and I have some bolt holes here. So what you can do is you can take this handle, unbolt it, stick it over there. This is an 80 quart bowl, as I mentioned. It's stainless steel. Now, I know there was a lot of people that make a big deal on their websites about their bowls are non-cracking. Let me just square this right away. It's not an issue, okay guys? You're going to see them as a big sales feature. We all use pretty close to the same 304 stainless steel bowl. So it's not going to crack. Originally there were some that were cracking from some of my competitors, but nowadays they're not having a problem with things cracking. It's just not an issue. So, but I mean, I digress a little bit. I'm trying to sell you my machine, not my competition's, but it's not a big deal. These are all spun out of one piece of stainless steel. Starts out as a great big old disc, and they just work it until it gets in the shape that it is, that it's in. So, what else can I show you? Oh, the most important thing. I mentioned how you can move this handle over to this side. What we have here are vents. Now obviously you're not going to unload the vents here if you're popping on the side. If you come to a booth, let's say you're in a corner or you got a lot of people in there or a lefty and they want to pump on the left side. All you got to do is undo these bolts that are here and take this plate and move it square over here. The holes will match up and it'll close off this vent right here. So now you can pop on this side and have the air exhaust out that side. So, now, you'll notice also in the rear here how I have all the electronics and the gas lines are centered. And that's because that way gives you an opportunity to pop on either side. Alright, what else do I want to show you? Oh, let's show you the pretty top. You probably already noticed that and we're thinking how pretty a top it was. Anyway, you can just see. Isn't that nice? Kind of fun. I don't know. But either way, let's show you the inside. Since I got the top up, I'll show you what I did in there and why I did it. Excuse me for the shaky camera for a few seconds while I grab it. Okay, now here's the inside. You can see my little starter. I'm the only one in the industry that has that. That's actually working. I know some of them are trying, but they're just not getting it. And part of the reason is they got to pay somebody a lot of hours to get it to do this. You ready? I love that. They have no idea how many hours I've spent, hundreds of hours, excuse me, trying to get that so it works. And this works on carpet, it works on, I put it on these mats, and it's, you know, the casters are rubber, so it works either way. Now, this has a little battery in the back. You can unscrew this here. If I were to unscrew this, you would see a battery. In fact, why don't we just do that? Just for grins. You can see the battery right there. Yeah, just a regular Energizer bunny. And you screw that guy back on there. So if your spark gets weak, replace that and you'll be good to go. Now I spent a lot of time making sure everything works on the inside. So all you got to do is just change that battery. Okay? And again, we have it off, we have it on. We have it off, we have it on. Centrally located so you can pop on either side. And it's all covered and channeled to keep it away from the heat. And also, it's the inspectors, and we know how much it's important to please these inspectors. They don't like continuous burning flames. They want them UL approved, and you just can't. I mean, you can't get a UL approved pilot light. It's just too expensive. So, that's why I went with the electronic ignition system. Now, you'll notice over here that I have brackets on both sides. Again, this allows you to move this bar that's right here, which now is stainless steel, used to be aluminum, changed to stainless steel. It allows you to move this over to here. Now you're going to say to me, Mitch, what is this? Well, this is for a spring assist system if you think you need it. So far nobody's needed it because, well, quite frankly, the bowl is light enough that you don't need it. So, but, you know, you may say after a year or two, think, you know, maybe a spring assist would be kind of nice. Well, I can put it on there for you, and we have the matching hardware just to move it over, just in case. It was just a in case kind of thing. Probably never use it, but I wanted to have that as an option if you decided you ever did. Well, what else can I tell you about this lovely machine? Oh yes, the all-important NSF letters. What the heck is that? Well, go to my YouTube channel or on my webpage in the video section, and I have a little rant about NSF. I got this bowl this way. It came this way. I didn't have to pay any extra for it, so I kind of lucked out that way. But an NSF thing is just another way a private corporation can get money out of people. California people, unfortunately, a lot of them don't have a choice. Their whole machines have to be NSF. The inspectors, though, have been letting the NSF bowls go by because that's actually where the food is touching. So that hasn't been a big issue for me, but it's a little thorn in my side with the NSF people. But watch my YouTube and you'll understand why. So what else can I tell you about this lovely, pretty machine? Well, the locking casters I mentioned, I think I got pretty much everything that you need to. So I will say goodbye now and hope that you guys have an awesome summer. Whoop, what was that? I heard a big bang. I hope you guys have an awesome summer, make lots of money for your family, and thrive. And don't forget to be mighty. Alrighty? Bye-bye, cousins.